Hello viewers, I'm Dima Nefartity from Vtvus Television, New York. Welcome you all in this special TV show to celebrate International Women's Day 2026. Today, we are also celebrating the role of mentorship in women's leadership development. Hello viewers, imagine a world, a gender equal world, a world free of bias, stereotypes, and discrimination. A world that is diverse, equitable, and inclusive. A world where difference is valued and celebrated. Together, we can forge gender equality. So get ready for International Women's Day 2026. When we give, we gain. The International Women's Day 2026 Give to Gain campaign encourages a mindset of generosity and collaboration. Give to Gain emphasizes the power of reciprocity and support. Giving is not a subtraction, it's intentional multiplication. When women thrive, we all rise. What will you give to gain gender equality? Give respect, donations, visibility. Give truth, equal pay, celebration. Give opportunities, safety. Give training. We can all give our support to gain advancement for women and girls globally. As well as mentorship is a cornerstone of International Women's Day initiatives, acting as a crucial action-oriented mechanism to drive gender parity, foster inclusion, and accelerate career advancement for girls and women globally. It serves as a particular tool to break down systematic barriers by providing guidance, support, and networking opportunities. Today, we will discuss the role of mentorship in women's leadership development. Why mentorship needed? Why mentors matter? At first, let's see what is mentorship. In general terms, mentorship refers to a relationship between a more experienced individual, mentor, and a less experienced individual, mentee. The mentor provides guidance, support, and knowledge to help the mentee grow personally and professionally. At its core, mentorship is about sharing wisdom, expertise, and life experiences. Mentors offer their time, insights, and resources to guide mentees on their journey. It can be a specific field, a particular skill, or various aspects of life. Mentorship can take place in various settings, such as the workplace, educational institutions, or even informal arrangements. Hello viewers, today it's our great pleasure we have three honorable mentors in our studio. Let me introduce with them Dr. Mahatapa Palit, Professor BMCC, the City University of New York. Welcome.
Thank you.
Swati Chakraborty, Founder, Mentor Power Village. Welcome.
Thank you.
Dr. Lunthita Duthely, Research Associate Professor, University of Miami School of Medicine. Welcome.
It's my honor to be here. Thank you.
Pleasure. And welcome you all in Vtvus Television studio. So, Dr. Palit, please tell us, why is mentorship important for girls, women empowerment? What do you think about that?
So, Ms. Nefartity, you started by talking about the importance of how women should rise based on the fact that we are now celebrating the International Women's Day and we are a quarter century into 2020, 2026. So the role of mentorship becomes extremely important to help women rise because culturally, women are still kept beneath men. And necessarily true all the time, but in fact it still is. And we would love to see our young women stand up and be able to communicate and speak up so that when they don't feel that they're being given the respect that they deserve, they should be able to make changes, to be able to speak up for themselves. And this is only possible if society is there to support them. So for me, the main reason why mentorship for young girls is important is it is one of the crucial ways to make the change that we are seeking.
Thank you so much. So, Shati, please you tell us why mentorship is important for girls and women empowerment. Then I'll come to Dr. Lunthita.
Just like any bird cannot fly in one wing, no nation can sustain and flourish just by developing their men and boys. They need to equally focus on girls and women. So that itself shows us that how we are focusing equally or not, our national growth will show that. Historically, our progress as a nation will show, as a country, it will show that how the nation has kept up with these girls and women. And if we don't focus equally on the mentorship to empower those girls to develop financially, economically, as well as spiritually and academically, then we will be doing a disservice to the population.
Thank you. I'll come back to you again. Dr. Lunthita.
Yeah, so to kind of add to what my colleagues have expressed, so my field is mostly in medical education, research, and health sciences. And what we see that even at the highest level of functionality, even with mentorship, them to begin to rise up to an equal status with boys and men.
All right, so it started 115 years ago, the celebration of International Women's Day. So do you think that still the goals are not achieved?
Yes, I would say, and even my colleagues and I at the University of Miami, we've actually looked at some data that went back 20 years. And even when you equalize, where in fields of research that do not require a lot of resources, even then, women are catching up over the last couple decades, year by year, but there's still gaps. So it tells us that there's still a lot of work that we still need to do.
May I ask you why there are still gaps? Lots of factors behind that.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it starts from the beginning. It's like if you have two plants and one of them you water very regularly and you give it the nourishment and the food,
Wonderful.
then that plant will thrive. The other plant next to it, you ignore it, you don't give it as much food, you don't give it as much water, then that plant will never catch up. And so you have to do something to boost it, to bring it to an equal state.
A world of gender equality. Thank you. I'm coming to Dr. Mahatapa Palit. What do you think? What are the challenges that you feel girls, women face socially, economically, culturally? What are the top challenges?
I think personally that it has a lot to do with culture. Across majority of the countries, I would say, women are culturally treated as not at the same level as men. And so, and yet I'm sure there are countries where they are matriarchal societies, women do well. They do not have this kind of a, place where they are looked at as if they're not equal. So I think the cultural is very important. And also for the culture to change, education is very important. And as we heard from one of our other colleagues, that means that if we recognize that there is a cultural difference between men and women, we need to, as a society, focus on changing that, which means we need to do more than what we are doing currently.
Thank you. So my question is that which culture you are indicating? Is Asian culture or American culture? Could you specify this to me?
No, I think it is neither Asian nor American culture in both cases.
I mean the East or West. And I know that you passed your life many decades in India and then in America. So you know the both society.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is true that, from what we hear on news, in Asia, perhaps they are not treated as at the same level as they are treated in US. But does it mean that just because they are treated a little better in the US, are they still at the same level as men? They are not. So clearly, in both countries, definitely in Asia, but also very much in the US, women's role should be recognized and they should be given to achieve equity, not equality. They need to be given more than what they have, what even men get right now.
Thank you so much. I'm coming to Shati. So the same question. What are the challenges that you feel girls, women are facing socially, economically, culturally, and what are the top challenges?
So I'll just continue with this conversation that its cultural factor is obvious. On top of that, I think also socioeconomic condition is a determining factor, because if you look at the rural population and the urban population, you will see a different pattern. So
Obviously.
Different pattern of inequity. And if you look at the educational level of those rural versus urban culture, you might see a different pattern. In fact, you might be surprised that in some of the urban areas, actually considering the same socioeconomic conditions, girls are doing much better. Even the graduation rate from higher education institutes, girls are doing much better than the boys.
Where? Here or Asia?
In general, globally.
In general, globally.
Globally, and specifically
Fantastic.
in US, the girls' graduation rate, education rate is much higher than the boys in urban situation where you are comparing with the same social.
But what about the rural situation? Because urban situation is not the total scenario.
Totally. And in rural situation, these factors like the cultural baggage that we bring in, and also the economic conditions where the girls are seen as a liability rather than an asset. Like the boys are treated like they will grow up and they will bring money.
So what are the challenges, I mean top challenges, what do you think for the girls?
So for the girls, first of all, getting access to education is number one, and access to health and hygiene. So I know some of my community leaders, they are working towards the girls' education and health and hygiene awareness in different parts of Asia. So those are the challenges. If we eliminate those barriers, if we just let them get to play in the even field, I think it will change the result.
What Dr. Lunthita said, that the nurturing, nourishing equally. So what's your assumption about the top challenges for girls and women empowerment?
Yeah, so, going, I guess, a little bit beyond what we've discussed so far is that then there are we have to think about the systemic challenges and barriers. Something as simple as, I'm working with, for example, graduate students, medical students, residents, doctors, and even something as basic as opportunities or the rights for, let's say, reproductive health. And for example, in our society, right, women are the bearers of children. And not everywhere in the United States, I'm going to speak for the perspective of the United States because this is where I'm operating from. So the rules, the opportunities are not equal. In lower wage jobs, for example, those leaves of absence and things like that are not afforded to women.
Not friendly to women.
No, exactly, not friendly to women. And so this creates a huge barrier. And even when we're looking at institutions who have some leave of pay, leave of absence built into the structurally, we still see inequities. Why? Because someone will think that, well, just because the person's a woman, they may not give them opportunities. And so we also have to look at the structural level.
So we see that it's matter, the supportive environment is a big factor for the women.
It's the supportive environment, and it also boils down to money.
Yeah.
In this point, we will come again to resonate the mentorship. Now I'm coming to Dr. Palit. Dr. Palit, could you please tell us something about your mentorship experience?
So I was thinking that perhaps, and I thought about myself, I thought, oh, I never had a mentor ever. But it is not true, because when I reflected on it, I realized that my parents, from childhood, they were extremely supportive. We were just two of us, sisters, both girls. And one of the biggest benefits, I think, as two sisters we had was that we were never compared with men.
Wonderful.
And we were expected that we would rise to the occasion and do everything that men would. I am so grateful to my mother. Coming from Asia, she was a really feisty lady, and she insisted that both me and my sister had to prepare to do well at work and education. She did not say that you can, get married and live with a family and take care. That's your main business. No, she said you have to work. So this is a huge, encouragement and inspiration that made us,
And support as well.
Yes, support from every angle.
Yeah, and this is the true gift to gain.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes. So,
yeah,
and it is, I have to say, it comes from her cultural background, where even her parents were very supportive.
I mean, you are talking about your mother.
By talking about my mother. So that also, it comes down the different, levels at which they continue to support us as women.
Wonderful. That's a very good example. Okay, I'm coming to Shati. Shati, we know that mentorship is a cornerstone of International Women's Day. And we know today we are discussing the role of mentorship in women's empowerment. So tell us where the girls and women can turn to for mentoring support and resources. And parallelly, you can say something about your organization, Mentor Power Village.
Sure. So I have just started one organization. We have started. It's Mentor Power Village, and this is where it's not about one mentor, it's a network of mentors. And it's not about one girl or one boy, it's about the community. Because the key belief that we have, Just like we are talking about the systemic biases and the issues that are built in, if we address one at a time, we may not get there so easily. So if we are to support one girl at a time to be developed and to be empowered, then we have to look at the environment. And that environment is the village. Like we all know, it takes a village to raise a child, right? So it does take a village to raise any child, boy or girl. And so we have access to all different kinds of mentors, from the sports, athletics, to spiritual leaders, to health coaches, to professors, scientists, and doctors, engineers, nutritionists, you name it. And our job is to connect. Our job is to connect them towards the success, building connection towards success. So each and every child, girl or boy, they get opportunity that they wouldn't get otherwise if we didn't enable them. That's all.
Wonderful, but do you have any special thought or focus for the girls and women worldwide from your organization?
Definitely. One thing that education is a must. Means is that if you focus on your health, if you are active in run or any sports, you will have healthy body and healthy mind, which will help you to focus in your schoolwork. And then you will learn, get better grades, and that will empower you to get better job and make more money and serve others at the end.
Yes, that's wonderful. And we know that alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. So coming to Dr. Lunthita, what's your observation, like that mentorship and resources?
Yeah, so it's invaluable, and in this,
I mean, the mentor's role.
the mentor's role, yeah. So the mentor's role is,
If it is in any kind of form, like structural or organizational or from the personal level.
right. And so the responsibility as a mentor is to ensure that the whole person is essentially is being nurtured. You know, back in the day, mentorship had a very the role was very limited. I'm teaching you a skill, and you will learn it my way, and that's the only way. So now mentorship, and again, I speak specifically from the perspective of health sciences and medicine and research, is that women and all mentees, you actually end up with a network of mentors, similar to what Swati was explaining. And you also have to be able to evaluate those relationships. When is it working? When is it not working? When do I stay? When do I move on? And so these are other also skills that need to be nurtured. I'll give you like a brief example. When I was first being mentored, my mentor had to leave my institution. I was devastated. I actually began crying. I found another mentor and who said to me, I'll help you, but understand that my father is dying and I actually don't have that much time right now to give you.
I got you, yeah.
And but took me on, and that mentorship has been extremely valuable in my life. So just giving that little bit amount of time made such a difference. And again, understanding that mentorship may require different kinds of mentors. It's not a one-to-one relationship anymore.
And also this is a legacy and continuation of legacy, generation to generation. Because all of us, we feel the essence of our mentors' inspiration and encouragements. I'm coming to you. So now, Dr. Mahatapa Palit, could you please tell us some memorable stories about who you have mentored as a professor?
So I'll say this from a personal point of view. I teach, of course, business at CUNY, but I also love to share with my with young girls and men as well, to help them grow spiritually. And for me, the meditation path that is available to our friends, to our young girls, to me has been a huge positive experience for them, because the main gist of the spiritual path we follow is to recognize that we have the highest within us. And when we can think of that and we believe in that, that makes a huge difference in how we treat others and how we expect that we will be treated with respect. And to be able to speak up is very important, not to fight, but to be able to express oneself. And this, I think, is also a very important trait that we need to develop, because it doesn't help if someone goes, feels badly and then, is not treated well, not treated equitably. And if they do not have the ability to speak up and say this to the person directly and nicely, that, I don't think that was right on your part. So this is the kind of strength that I feel spirituality provides. And then, of course, I have many of my students who are similar, and I also try to help them recognize their own inner strength.
Thank you so much. It's our pleasure that you are here and you spoke for us. Thank you so much, Dr. Palit.
Thank you.
Dear viewers, we believe that you are enjoying this special talks, and we all know that every woman's success should be an inspiration to another. We are strongest when we cheer each other on. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. So let's stay forward in solidarity. And I'm coming to my guests again. Swati, could you please tell us something about your approach to mentorship for girls and women?
Sure. So my basic approach, in one word, is one size doesn't fit all. So it's very customized. One person can come for mentorship on any area, like they are struggling in class. I'm also teaching in BMCC, and if they are struggling in class, then we start from there to see what type of help they need, in tutoring, additional extra time, or anything. Then through that conversation, most of the time I have seen that there is something else going on, that sometimes they are working in 2 jobs and then they are studying, so that they are balancing. Sometimes I see that they have some family issue that they are struggling to. So listening to them and giving some advice and just becoming a sounding board, it gives them that confidence, that they feel that I have someone, I'm not alone. And that is the key theme of offering a mentoring service, that giving the sense of community and belongingness, where they feel supported. And that's all they need to flourish.
So, question, are you doing this from your organization, Mahatapa Village?
Yes.
One-on-one or collectively? Could you please say something more about this?
Sure.
Especially for the girls and women.
Especially for the girls. So we have multiple age group of the girls that I would say some girls are really high school or college students, and some could be as old as in their 70s.
Wonderful.
So it's a wide range, and those girls, some could be professional, some could be a student in like elite university, or just a local high school student. And so their needs are different. One of the ladies, I would say, had some difficult situation in life, and she really needed some support in terms of figuring out her next step. And so we went beyond our capacity to even support that person and offer some shelter for a temporary time period, and so that she can find a career and launch her life. And I'm happy to say that lady is really thriving now. So that's kind of one example. With little support,
Yeah.
you can make a magic in their lives.
That's wonderful, because we know that mentors give their time, wisdom, insights. That's a huge thing. And of course, this is a support, great support. So Lunthita, Dr. Lunthita, could you please tell us something about your approach to mentorship for girls and women?
Yeah, so usually when someone comes to me for mentorship, when women come to me for mentorship, I oversee a lab. It's a psychological and behavioral lab. So we don't study like rats and mice and things like that, but human behavior related to medicine. And so usually they come to me with something very specific. They're looking to join the lab, to gain experience. And one of the things that I'm very, very interested in is a long-term relationship. So because yes, I can add you to a project, you can get some experience, maybe some publications, which is very important in my field. But really it's like, how can we cultivate you to become that top researcher or medical student or resident? And so, you know, first I'm listening. What is it that they're looking for? And then what is it that within the confines of what I have available that I can offer? And then also helping them to see like, okay, right now you're interested in this, but actually for your career, really what you're going to need is B, C, D, and F. And let's see if I can work together, if we can work together and I can help you achieve that. Because when you leave my lab, you will continue on, and I want to ensure that you are very well equipped to then be able to contribute to the next steps.
That's wonderful. I'm coming to Shati again. That Shati, tell us something about your mentorship experience, whether it is mentor or mentee.
There are so many. I had so many mentors, like it really was a village that who raised me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. And so one of the most respectful mentor I must mention was my professor in engineering college. And he just offered us so much of a guidance and empathy that helped us even dream of our future and instilled some seeds, instilled some dream, whatever way you want to say, that to become a better than what we were at back then, to look at the world in a more empathetic way and offer some selfless service. So going beyond your own limitation and own interest, that was his inspiration. And that's the main reason why I'm even trying to create this village for others, so that you can pay it forward.
Yes, and that I said before, that this is a continuation of legacy and resonation of that inspiration and encouragement. Well, Dr. Lunthita, please tell us some memorable stories about who you have mentored.
Yes, thank you, Dima, for that question. So the person who stands out in my memory is someone whom I've mentored probably for, I think this year will make it 10 years. Someone who came to me, she had one idea, it was a young lady. She
From your university?
Yeah. She came to me with one idea in terms of where she was thinking she wanted to take her career. And that concept has changed 3 or 4 times, maybe even close to 5 times in the time that I've known her. But I did realize from the very beginning is that she's someone who she had a goal in mind, but still was going to need some time to kind of frame that into something that worked well for her. Some mentees, they're ready to dive in. They have no questions. They know what they want and they go for it and they never stop. And then others, like this young lady, it takes them time to figure it out. But I've tried to always be there for her, similar to what Swati was explaining a little while ago, is like a sounding board. So you tell me, what is it that you think you want to pursue? And then let's see how we can work together. And she changed her idea several times, and now she's a PhD student in psychology and thriving. But it took 10 years to get to that point, yes.
Yeah. I will mention a couple of short
Stories or yes, memories.
Like how we can help to bring the equity within our little circle of control. We don't have the power to change the system all by ourselves, but we can only influence. So one of my junior colleague, after maternity leave, she was not really confident to come back. So that is the step where a lot of women drop out from the workforce. And so that's one little push and support right there helps to change their lifestyle, their entire career, entire life. And so one of my mentees at that point, I offered the support and encouraged her to come back to the workforce, and since then she has been working for 25 years now. It's never a look back, and she cannot imagine not working ever.
Wonderful.
And that one period of gap.
Yes. So you helped her to spread her wings to fly. Swati, could you please tell us something more about Give to Gain as a mentor?
Yes.
The continuation of this.
So the Give to Gain, it reminds me of one of our old Sanskrit verse actually, which is like something like that. Apurva kopi vidyastabo bharati drishyate vyayote vriddhim ayati khoyam ayati sanchayat. So what that means is it's offering the goddess of learning that you have a treasure which is unique, that it doesn't reduce if you give. It only improves, increases when you offer it to someone. The same way, if we give our knowledge to others, then actually we gain back more wisdom. So that's what the theme of Give to Gain. You gain back your experience, your knowledge, you expand yourself. And we are not just giving money or our time, we are giving our energy, our empathy, our company,
Wisdom.
our wisdom, and we are connecting them with other resources that where they can thrive. And there is again, it's not a cookie cutter, one size fits all. Whatever they want, whatever their potential is, if we are looking into it, we can really help them to flourish in their own way.
Wonderful. I'll come to you again. Dr. Lunthita, you please tell something more about Give to Gain as a mentor in a nutshell.
As a mentor, sure. So one thing I'll say is that not everyone is good at mentorship, and not everyone is good at being a mentee. So as a mentor, one of our roles is to help the mentee understand what is their role as a mentee, so that we can better help them. And then also, as a mentor, you have to be willing to give without receiving something.
Without an expectation.
Without an expectation, exactly, without an expectation. Sometimes you are rewarded, and sometimes the relationship turns out to be mutually beneficial, but not always. And so you have to be able to offer that without expectation. And if you feel that you're not able to do that unconditionally, then it's not the right place for you to be in to mentor others.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm coming to Shati again. Shati, once you told me that in abroad, like it's also very important for the mentorship because many families have no relatives here, not big families here. So most of the people when they come in as an immigrant, they feel that they're alone or helpless. So you, once upon a time, you told me that was an inspiration for you to form your Mentor Power Village. Could you please say something more about this?
Sure, sure. And that is so true for almost all of us. Like at some point, either in our generation or in our previous generation, we immigrated. And this is where everything has started from scratch again. And so we needed to build that village again. And that creates a struggle when we are focused on one survival mode, that we are trying to go from point A to point B to get a degree, to get a job, to earn and to make start a family or to develop a business, whatever the goal is. We are so busy with that goal in focus, we don't have time to build that village, create the relationship. Once we reach that goal, then it suddenly occurs that we don't even have someone to celebrate with us. That vacuum, that loneliness, that is sometimes very harsh.
Wonderful. And that resonates me that this is also is a replica of back home.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
All right, we are actually very end of this show. And whatever I found that still there is the glass ceiling for women empowerment. Still there are some barriers or not fully supportive environment, and that's why all of us are working from our individual perspective. Thank you so much for joining with me in Viewers Television New York.
Thank you, Dima.
Thank you.
Dear viewers, I'm Dima Nefartity from Viewers Television New York. We believe you enjoyed our thought-provoking talks. We know every woman's success should be an inspiration to another. We are strongest when we cheer each other on. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. So, let's stay forward in solidarity. Happy International Women's Day 2026. Give to gain. Thank you.